Hello and welcome to The Gaggle, where we challenge and, if necessary, destroy media narratives. I'm George Szamuely. There with me today, of course, is co-founder of The Gaggle, Peter Lavelle, host also of RT's talk show, Crosstalk. Well, Peter, over the past few weeks, we've had a number of occasions to talk about the fight taking place between the European Union and Belarus, and in particular of the issue of the allegation or accusation against Belarus that it's weaponizing refugees, that it's sending refugees from Iraq or Afghanistan to its border and then essentially dumping them on the EU. The EU has rushed in to help Poland and Lithuania with funds for building walls and barbed wire, and have been, indeed, Poland and Lithuania have used force in pushing back the refugees, the kind of thing that normally we're absolutely shocked by. Hey, these are people seeking asylum and you're pushing them back. So, as we talked about it yesterday during the thumbs ups and thumbs down, when President Putin was asked, hey, why don't you do something about this dispute? He said, it's got nothing to do with us. This is a dispute between Poland and Lithuania and Belarus. It's not, it's about their border, it's not ours. And said, if you have an issue with Belarus, go talk to the authorities in Belarus, leave us alone. But now Lukashenko has said that he's not going to talk to the EU unless they actually lift the sanctions, because of wave after wave after wave of sanctions that have been imposed on Belarus. And indeed, he's now sponsoring legislation in Belarus that essentially prorogues any cooperation with the EU on migrants. Is actually, so in other words, there's no obligation at all on the part of Belarus to take back anyone that the EU deports, which obviously goes to the migrants. But it just reinforces what you and I have been saying, Peter, which is that if you are going to wage a hostile policy towards a neighboring state, as the EU has done for years, this is what you're going to get. You can't expect to be essentially, bullying Belarus, imposing all sorts of financial penalties on Belarus, and then expect them to be thoroughly cooperative and try to do everything helpful for your own interests. You have to make up your mind which way you're going to go. All right, Peter, what do you think?
Yeah, again, it's this kind of this arrogant approach, is that, we're going to punish you because you're being very bad, and we want to teach you a lesson. But there's another issue we would like to talk to you about. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, nation states act out of interest, or at least they should. And it has to have a modicum of respect, okay? And that respect is international law. Now, one of the things that Lukashenko is doing, and the EU feels extremely uncomfortable about it, and I think the entire Western world is that, what is a refugee? What is political asylum? Right. What is the migrant? I mean, nobody wants to answer these questions, and we're flooded with images every single day. And nobody wants to really describe who these people are. And I keep thinking about it all the time. Is that you're an able-bodied man, okay? I mean, what's wrong? Okay. Now, if you want to get down to brass tacks and specifics, Christians in the Middle East are being persecuted, and the de-Christianized West doesn't give a hoot about it. Okay. But they worry about other religions, okay? And on the part of Lukashenko, yeah, Lukashenko's turning up the heat. I mean, you want to parlay, and I think he just said, we're not an insignificant country. I'm paraphrasing here. We're an important country, and they're being made important by the way the EU is treating them.
Right. No, that's right. Because ultimately, what he's doing is, after all, being humane. Hey, I'm being humane. I'm letting in people into my country. However, if they want to leave my country and go somewhere else, they're entitled to do so. So, we're acting entirely in accord with all of the United Nations conventions about refugees and about the flow of people. He isn't really doing anything wrong. I mean, they keep accusing him weaponizing refugees and whatnot. He isn't doing anything wrong. It is up to the EU authorities to organize its borders. And as we talked about yesterday, when Greece turned around to the EU and says, "Can you help us because we're being flooded with migrants that are coming from Turkey?" The EU said, "Well, not today, I don't think, because we don't really trust you to administer the entry into your country in a legal, moral fashion. We suspect you just push them away, and lock, stock, and barrel." So Greece doesn't get any kind of sympathy. Poland and Lithuania, because hey, they're up against Belarus, they get everything that they want.
As the bureaucrat said, in his palatial surroundings with a gated community with cameras and personal bodyguards. So said the EU bureaucrat. You're absolutely right. I mean, does anybody in the media that's talking about this, is anybody in the EU saying that Lukashenko is breaking the law? Are these people transiting Belarus, are they claiming political asylum in Belarus? You don't know. They don't say.
Right. No.
So how do they know the status of these people if they're not making their intentions clear?
Right.
Number two, why should Belarus take on the security risks of these people?
That's right.
I mean, fine, the buffoons in the US and the UK and the EU, they want to take that on? Fine. You do it at your own peril. We have 20 years experience, folks, okay?
Right. Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, after all, there are people coming into Belarus, and then, if they're obviously not asking for asylum in Belarus, they're moving on. Now, if they'd asked for asylum in Belarus, then according to the national law, they would have to stay in Belarus unless Belarus just rejected their asylum request. But they're moving into the EU, which is kind of what was going on in 2015. It's the EU's problem. And for them to turn around and say, "Oh, it's all just Belarus is being so horrible and so mean," hey, you kind of created this problem, and one way of resolving it would be, to negotiate, and that means, you have to negotiate a whole panoply of relations, and not just on this one specific thing. And this is the point that Russia has made many times over, which is, we're not just here to talk about the things that you want to talk about. If you want to talk to us, then we should talk about the things you want to talk about and the things we want to talk about. No, we don't want to talk about you want to talk. We just want to address our concerns.
And what the EU has done, I'm glad you brought up Greece. We brought it up yesterday with thumbs up, thumbs down. I mean, so what is the EU's policy, George? Is there any coherence? I mean, we have different national governments taking positions. We have Brussels taking positions. We have Brussels issuing sanctions on some countries, not on others. There's complete incoherence on their part. Okay, right. And what they're trying to do is that they're trying to punish Belarus. It's not really about this issue. It's about punishing this government to see where it will buckle, where are the weaknesses. They're probing here. We know Western intelligence has got thick dossiers all about Belarus. They got their eyes open, and the whiteboard behind them checking off things. Okay, if you don't believe me, check a potential possible coup we had after the election, which George and I are not going to vouch for, but I think both of us have reasonable confidence that he won 50% of the votes plus one. Was it 80%? I can't say. Okay.
Right.
But it's reasonable to assume that he did 50% plus one. Yep. I believe in democracy. Okay?
Right. That's right. That's right. You may not like the government, okay, but you're not under any obligation to like it. A
lot of governments I don't like.
Exactly. He's not the prime minister of any EU country. Sorry, he's not the president of any EU country. He's the president of Belarus. It's up to the people of Belarus to decide who is going to lead them. But that's obviously not the perspective of the EU. And so they've got themselves now into this box, and they expect help and cooperation when they've basically done everything in their powers. not just with all these penalties, with all the sanctions and whatnot, but as you say, clearly involved in seeking to overthrow the government of Belarus. Now, we've talked about, how much money Germany, the EU, many countries of Europe have actually given to the opposition. We're talking about a lot of money. So when we talk about, say,
it goes a long way.
It goes a long way. When Germany shells out, 23 million euros to Tikhanovskaya, that is a serious lot of money. It goes a long way in a country like Belarus. So, they can't then turn around and say, play all the whole innocent. Oh, we're not interfering in anyone's affairs. No. We're just only interested in democracy and values. No. If you're interfering in a hostile fashion, what do you expect? They're going to respond to you in a hostile fashion.
Well, and what they want, I mean, it's certainly on the radar right now. But what do you bet, George? To say, all right, well, we'll reconsider sanctions, but you need to hold an election. Okay, that's it. And once you hold an election, the game plan is on. Okay, right. Maidan all over again.
Exactly. That's it. Election means you march in and steal it. I mean, that's the goal. You steal it, and even if you don't win it, then you just say, hey, it was a fraud. That automatic response, it was a fraud. We refuse to recognize it. So it's completely meaningless. It's a joke to say, well, we want elections. Yeah, we want elections, the one that you're going to steal. And if you fail to steal it, you're just going to declare that you don't recognize it anyway.
Yes, that's the exercise. Okay, that's the game plan, and they're not going to fall for it in Belarus. Okay, so that's where we stand on this situation. But Belarus is showing that it has cards. Excuse me. It has cards to play. Okay, and expect it. And when the EU targets a country, the targeted country has every single right to push back.
That's right. That's right. And Belarus has powerful friends. So there's a limit to how far you can go in pushing Belarus around. They're still living in the glory days when, they were able to push around Serbia, who unfortunately at that time really didn't have powerful friends because Russia was in turmoil. So they think they can play this game over and over again, but it doesn't work. Somebody has powerful friends. There's a limit to what you can do.
And that is the way the geopolitical order works all of the time. Like I've said so many times here, the Goggle, the Cold War was a huge interruption to how most people were taught about geopolitics. And with the end of the Cold War, 30 years now, people still haven't gone back to John Mearsheimer and great power politics, okay? And that's what they do. Tony Blinken, I know you have time on your hands in the Hamptons as the world's going to hell in a handbasket. Why don't you crack up that volume, okay? It's a good read. You might learn something, you moron. Anyway, everybody, we're going to keep an eye on what's going on with Belarus, okay? We're on the local, so please go to thegaggle.locals.com. George and I are setting up expected to be a successful super chat on Friday.
Super chat, exactly.
On YouTube. If you want to talk to us via Zoom, sign up for it. I'd be more than happy to. The store is up, so lots of merchandise there.
And I'm doing a live stream on Wednesday, which will be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So forget about lunch. No lunch. Forget your swanky restaurants. Just stay home and watch.
That's right. Heat up some soup and
exactly. That's it. Exactly.
All right. And we got to, hopefully, I'm going to tease it again. Hopefully we have a surprise for everyone. When I get the nod, we'll tell you here. So that's where we stand.
Good. And the tip jar. I think you forgot that.
Oh,
yeah. And, Buddy doesn't like people forgetting about the tip jar.
Well, he likes it when people are talking about the tip jar.
Yes. And he likes, the sound of coins falling into the tip jar. And that's what he likes. That's his favorite sound in all the world. So, but in any case, anything that you can do to help us, we don't have billionaires bankrolling us, so rely on the kindness and generosity of fellow gagglers. And we're very grateful for everything that all of your friendship and help and support. So, and remember, if you like the Gaggle, please like, share, and subscribe. See you soon. Bye.